Colleagues, good afternoon. Are you able to get me? Can you get me? Okay, thank you. Without wasting much of your time, we're going to get started. I hope my screen is visible. Thank you. Um, we're going to start looking at the threats, intelligence consumption, threat intelligence consumption. Of course, this is basically building. This is building on what we covered. Okay, this is basically building on what we covered uh, yesterday and the other day. So we looked at the analysis, the approaches to threats, and so forth yesterday. So now today we'll go further to look at the threats intelligent consumption. Okay, so threat intelligence is data that is collected, processed, and analyzed to understand a threat's actor's motive, targets, and attacks behavior. Okay, so threat, we talked about it the other day when we talk about the analysis. You are basically talking about the aspect of threat intelligence. You are basically just trying to talk about the data that is collected. You collect this data, then you process. After you do the processing, then you do the analysis. Okay, you do the analysis. You analyze the data in order for you to understand the attacker's motives, the target computer, and the behavior. That is the aspect of threat intelligence. Okay, that's the aspect of um, threat intelligence. Okay, you collect this data. Okay, and once you've collected this data, what do? You try by all means to analyze to analyze this data. Okay, so you analyze this data so that once you're able to analyze the data, you should be able to understand the motives. Okay, the motives behind that aspect of the attack. Okay, so the intelligence enables us to make faster, more informed data-backed security decisions and change their behavior from reactive to proactive in the fight against threat actors. So that's what we are saying. We are saying, why is this aspect of threat intelligence important? Okay, why is it important? You are saying the importance is that it enables us to make, because it enables us to make faster decisions. Okay, and probably to change the approach that would definitely deter the attacker from further engaging in these activities. Okay, so it should not to say by now that threat intelligence is basically the data that is collected, processed, and analyzed to understand the motive of the attacker. Okay, you understand the motive, you should be able to understand the target, you should be able to understand the actual behavior. And once you understand this, you'll be able to make faster decisions so that you are able to fight against this threat. Is that clear? Hello, are we together? Thank you. So a threat intelligence is basically evidence-based knowledge. Okay? It's a evidence-based knowledge about existing or emerging menaces or hazard to asset. That's according to Ghana or Gartner. Okay? So why are we saying this is uh, evidence-based knowledge? Who can tell us why we are saying this is evidence-based knowledge? Mr. Mwape, why are we saying this is evidence-based knowledge? Yeah, so what I'm saying that why are we saying threat intelligence is evidence-based knowledge? Okay, Jamil. Jamil, tell us your hand was up. Okay. Okay, so the analysis is acquired after analyzing. You have conducted an analysis, okay, and you've been able to identify the causes. That's why we are saying this is evidence based. Okay, so in the world of cybersecurity, okay, in the world of cybersecurity, advanced persistent threats, APTs, and defenders are constantly trying to outmaneuver each other. Okay, so data on a threat actor's next move is crucial to proactively tailoring your defense and preempt future attacks. So what we are saying is that what we are putting across here is that because of the increase in the use of cyber security through what is known as the advanced persistent threats, there's there are a lot of defenders that are constantly trying to maneuver or to outplay each other. So data on a threat actor's next move is crucial because you need to understand the next actor's data. Okay, you need to understand the next the action of the actor. That's why we say to catch a thief, you must be a thief. You must be one. So you need to understand the possible ways of um, making this attacker as uh, vulnerable as possible. So organizations are increasingly recognizing the value of threat intelligence. Okay. Organizations are fully, okay, are fully, um, organizations are increasingly recognizing the values of threat intelligence. Threat because they know that without understanding the possibilities, without understanding the ways in which these attackers use to launch an attack, it will be very difficult to fight them. That is why they stand. Okay, they stand and ensure that they get the correct analysis. Okay, they get the correct analysis. E.g., with the 2% planning to increase threat intelligence spending in upcoming quarters. However, there is difference. Okay. However, there is a difference between recognizing value and receiving value. So most organizations today are focusing their effort. Okay. They are focusing their effort on only the most basic use cases, such as integrating threat data and with existing networks, IP addresses, okay, IPS, firewall, or we're talking about intrusion detection systems here, firewalls and the CMNs without taking full advantage of insight that, okay, without taking advantage of the insight that intelligence can occur. Okay, so companies that stick to these basic levels of threat intelligence, missing organization intelligence, are missing out on real advantages that could significantly strengthen their security. Okay, so it's very important that the aspect of cyber intelligence is critically looked at, critically analyzed by this organization. Okay, by this organization, this must be physically looked at. Okay. Okay. So we move to threat intelligence. The threat intelligence is important to the following reason. Okay. So I want to look at why the threat intelligence is important for the following. Why the threat intelligence is important. That is why that is what we want to look at. So the threat intelligence is important for the following reasons. Why do you need to study this? It sheds light on the unknown, enabling security pattern to make better decision. Okay, so it gives you more light on unknown. Okay, gives you rights. Okay, it gives you rights on the unknown. Teams to make better decisions. Okay, again, it empowers cybersecurity stakeholders to create management. Okay, to create. So we're saying that it empowers cybersecurity stakeholders by revealing adversaries between the user and the management procedures. Okay. Then it also helps securing professional better understand the threat actor decision making process. Okay, so it helps security personnel understand the threat actors decision making process, It also empowers stakeholders such as executive bosses or CEOs, CEO, CTO to invest wisely and mitigate might be most efficient and make faster decision making. Okay, so we're saying these are the four these are the four importance for uh, intelligent response. Okay, one, you shed more light on the first, you shed more light on the unknown by enabling security teams to make a better decision. Two, you have to empower the cyber security uh, stakeholders by revealing advantages provided and disadvantages. Okay, then you can also it can also help security professionals to better understand the threats decision making process. It should be able to understand the potential threats. Then four, it has to empower business stakeholders such as executive board, CISO, and CTO invest wisely in order to mitigate more efficient and more faster decision. Then threat intelligence life cycle. Threat intelligence life cycle. So the intelligent life cycle is basically a process to transform raw data into finished intelligence for decision making and action. Okay, it's a process to transform the data demo, okay, um, into finished intelligent for decision making and action. Okay, so you will see many slightly different versions of intelligence cycle in your research, but the goal is the same: to guide the cybersecurity team through the development and execution of an effective threat intelligence program. So what we are saying is that there are different versions of intelligence cycle used by different people, but the whole idea is to just guide and ensure that the cybersecurity team provides the best way to connect that device. Okay, again, threat intelligence is challenging because the threats are constantly evolving. Okay, they are constantly evolving. That is why we've said that you cannot really use the same cycle because things keep changing. So the threat intelligence is challenging because threats are constantly evolving, requiring businesses to quickly adapt to take division or decisive action. So the intelligence cycle provides the framework to enable teams to optimize their resources and effectively respond to the modern threat landscape. So this cycle consists of 6 steps. resulting to encourage continuous improvement. Okay, so this cycle consists of 6 steps resulting in a feedback loop to encourage continuous improvement. So what we are saying is that if one area doesn't, you are not satisfied with the stage, you can still go back until you ensure that the correct thing is done at that particular time. Okay, so here the key point to note is that there are many versions of intelligent cycle in research, but the goal is the same cycle. Okay, the goal is that the same guide a cycle to go through the development and the expression of a process. Okay, so the first step is requirement. So the requirement stage is crucial to the threat intelligent life cycle because it sets up the roadmap for a specific threat intelligence. Okay, this one sets up a roadmap. Okay, set up a roadmap for specific threat intelligence. Okay, so during this planning stage, the team and the involvement. Okay, the team may set out a number okay they may set out to discover quite a lot after that. Okay, one such is to know who the attackers are and their motivation. What is the attack surface against the future attack? Okay, that is the requirement aspect. So we are saying this is a crucial part. It's a crucial part to threat intelligence life cycle because it sets up the roadmap for a specific agent operation. Okay, it's more like the same requirement you gather during the developing this software. It's the same even in this context where we are saying um, the requirement stage is crucial to the threat intelligent life cycle map for specific threat intelligent operations. So during this planning stage, the team will agree on the goals and methodology of their intelligence program based on the need of the stakeholders involved. Okay, so the team may set out to discover the following: who the attacker are and their motivation, what is really motivating them. Okay, then it should be able to motivate and be able to know what is the attack surface. Okay, from the attack surface, again, you can also look at what specific action should be taken to strengthen that their defense against future attacks. So these are the goals that the team seek to discover. Okay, so that's the requirement. The second part is the collection. Now we're saying once the requirements are defined, the team then set out to collect the information required to satisfy those objectives. Okay. So depending on the goals, the team Okay, the team will usually seek out traffic log, publicly available data, see result flows, social media, and industry or subject matter. Okay, that's the processes. That's the processes. Okay. So the first stage is the requirement. Then we have the collection, which involve was saying once the requirements are defined, the team then set out to collect the information required to satisfy the objective. You must have set the requirements that are needed to satisfy these particular objectives. So depending on the goals, the team will usually seek out traffic logs, publicly available data, sources, relevant forums, social media, industry or subject matter, and so forth. So these are the particular sources where data can be collected. These are particular sources where the data can be collected. Okay? Then processing, after the data has been collected, the next thing is to process it. Okay? So after the raw data has been collected, it will have to be processed into a form analysis. Remember, we are trying to analyze this data so that we are able to identify the threats to a particular network. Okay, so most of the time this entails organization data points into spreadsheet, cryptography files, translating information from foreign source, and evaluating the data. Okay, evaluating the data for relevance and the reliability. Okay, so that is the aspect of processing. Okay, that has to be processed into a single, okay, into a format suitable for analysis. Okay, that's processing. Then we have analysis. Once the data has been processed, okay, the team must then conduct an analysis once to question to find the answers to the questions posed, okay, in the requirement phase. So during the analysis phase, the team also works despite the data set into action, okay, and the valuable recommendation for that data. Okay, so data collection. So analysis, okay, to go for analysis. And analysis is a very important part of this cycle. Okay, and it has to be conducted thoroughly because this will enable you to find the answers to the questions that are provided. So now here we see that during the analysis phase, the team has to work to decipher the data set in action in terms of okay, in terms of recommendation for stakeholders. Then that's the analysis. Then we have the recommendation. Okay, we have the recommendation here or dissemination. Dissemination. So The dissemination phase requires the threat intelligence team to translate the analysis into digestible format and present the result to the stakeholders. So basically, that's what the dissemination does. Okay, so here you just disseminate the findings to the stakeholders. Okay, the people with keen interest in knowing what really is happening on the network. So these are the people that you are supposed to present your findings to. How the analysis is presented depends on the audience. In most cases, the recommendation should be values should be presentable values and should avoid the jargons, okay, technical jargons that the other laymen may not be able to understand. So these are only known to you. Okay. So after you've presented that, you expect the feedback. So the first stage of okay, so the final stage of the threat intelligence life cycle involves getting feedback on the provided report to determine whether adjustment need to be made for the future threats. Okay, threat intelligence operation. So stakeholders may have to um, change their priorities, and when they change their priority, they should be able to to receive intelligence reports on how data should be disseminated to the presenter. Okay, or presented, or the way data is disseminated to the stakeholder. So in short, we are saying the threat intelligence cycle consists of these six items. One is detection of the threat, then you process, you disseminate, then there's an aspect of feedback. There's an aspect of feedback. Okay, is that clear? Okay, we look at the threat intelligence. What use cases are okay relevant to you? Okay, so this is basically how it is. Those threat intelligence use cases, we can see that this is basically divided into three parts. We have what is known as tactical level, operational, and strategic. Tactical level, operational, as well as strategic. Okay, so that is why this is okay. It is divided into those areas. So now you can see what use cases are relevant to you. So you look, we have threat feeds. Okay, threat feeds. We're saying this is where things are a bit difficult because you have to look at the possibility or the possible causes of threats. You analyze this data and so forth. Okay, that threat feed, then real-time alert. You should be able to get real-time alert in terms of using the automated hardware or the automated malware analysis. That's real-time alert. From real-time alert, you have threat